everybody, it's Kenny K here again, bringing you a new flick in my my robe, playing the dude, as the dude, his dudeness, El Duderino, the duder. You can pick whatever you want. Love a Big Lebowski, one of my favorite comedies. And I wanted to talk to you about a movie that I saw last summer ago. And the reason why I want to talk about it now is because I don't want to see it again. It isn't a bad movie. It has a 6 point something on IMDb. It gets a 5 from me because the reason this movie, you've got Universal monsters, Frankenstein, the Mummy, you've got Dracula, werewolves, the Creature of the Black Lagoon. Movie that I watched, by the way, black and white movie, very good movie, a black and white horror movie, and that's one I'm gonna review because it's a sad movie, and it's a sad movie. It basically represents that the humans are the monsters, not the monster itself. But this movie is about a vampire. Now, the movie's called The Last Voyage of the, and this where it gets tricky with the name, the Demeter. It's Demeter. So Demeter. I think it's Demeter. In any case, it's a cargo ship. They take cargo somewhere in the Mediterranean, and they go to England. Now, this movie is basically a prequel to Bram Stoker's Dracula, because he came to England with a boat and he killed everybody on the boat as food. Now, the two actors that I'm gonna say, the rest were people I never heard of before, and I don't even, their names, the crew names, they were all Slavic names, so I don't know. I'm gonna just say that crew member and that crew member. The only crew member that I do recognize is Corey Hawkins, who plays Clemens, a black doc. He's a black man, but he's a doctor, a surgeon. He wasn't part of the crew, but because he's a doctor, the captain deemed him valuable. Okay, the captain himself is Liam Cunningham, of course known as Davos Seaworthy from Game of Thrones. He sits beside Stannis Baratheon, and after that, Jon Snow. And he's there with his grandson Toby. And another woman named Anna wants to go on a ship. She wants to take a passage because she wants to go to London. Now you would think, okay, only a woman with a few crusty old sea dogs, that would lead to rape or something. No, actually not. They were pretty friendly, but the captain was really strict but fair, and he said in a speech before they departed, be good and be respectful to our guests, and that probably meant towards the lady. There's also another guy who was the second in command, and captain, because Liam Cunningham is called Captain Elliot, and he's basically, it's his last voyage. He's gonna raise he's gonna stay in England with his grandson. The grandson doesn't have any parents anymore, and he's gonna stay there in a cottage where he can on the sea, where he can fish and this and that, and an idyllic dream. And that second in command guy gets the wheel, gets to be the captain, and of course he's happy. Now crates are being brought on board. One coming from Transylvania with a driver in a chariot who looks weird already, and he looks nervous. So he drops the crate on the ship. Boom, goes on the ship. They go on the water. Now what happens first is there's a cook, and he starts to complain because all of the meat, pigs, goats that are hanging on hooks have been eaten. Okay, so who could have that? Who could have been the person who ate all those pigs? I don't think one person can eat all that food, right? And they had a little dog, but it was like a yippy dog, with a whip, 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 a small dog. And they said, it's a dog, it's a dog. No, you stupid asshole, it's not the dog, and it's not a person, because if a person ate so much food, he would puking his guts out on the side of the ship. I would be puking my guts out on the side of the ship, not only because of the food, because of the waves, the fucking... the ship was going like this. I mean, Jesus. Seasickness, it's not my... boats, seasickness, oof, not my thing. Now the captain and his second hand says, we have to investigate this. Now the dog, Toby, the grandson of the captain, says his dog, he found his dog dead. Luckily we didn't see it, because I'm an animal lover. Love animals. I have basically, I think here's a cat, and there's one on the floor, and I have a dog too. So I don't like to see animals get killed, but they found him dead, sucked dry of his blood. So what they're basically doing, they say there's something wrong on board. Clemens, the doctor, said he did some research on a dog. He said he was basically completely sucked of dry. He had no drop of dry. He didn't have a drop of blood in him anymore. And then the captain says, we're gonna post a guard. They have firearms, there's firearms with 3 bullets and revolvers with 6 shooters or 5 shooters. It's the end of the 18th century, beginning 19th century. So they have firearms. Now one guard the day after is missing. They find some blood, but they find the firearm, no bullets. And then they find the body hanging in the ropes on the mast without a head. So they think, what the fuck did that? And now they start to get paranoid, right? They get paranoid as shit. They're saying, okay, now we need 2 guards at night. So at least if one guard dies, the other one can shoot it. Okay? What happens is 2 guards at night. The thing with this movie is the isolation. And the reason why I don't like this movie is I'm not a Dracula fan. I'm not scared of Dracula. And Dracula in this movie is not the charming Dracula you get in Bram Stoker's Dracula. It's the version that is transformed in a giant hairy bat with pointy ear wings, pointy ear ears and teeth like that, and it's basically its monster self. And it moves quick. It can jump on the mast, fly from one mast to another mast. It can move on the ceiling, on the side of the walls. It's quick. So these two, you have to imagine you're at sea. It's dark as fuck, and you're one of these crew members, and you know there's somebody on board doing this, or something on board doing this, and they don't know what it is. Clemens, the doctor, examined the body. He said it's dry of any blood, and the head has been ripped off, not by a knife, by hands, he said. So they know it's not one of the crew members, it's something on board. So the creepy thing on the movie is the creature can be right beside you, there, above you, under you. It can be everywhere on the boat. You can't escape because the boat is in the middle of the ocean. It's wild on the oceans. Water's going like this. Boat is going like this. It's raining, wet. So it's not the ideal situation. So eventually they come across vampire. Vampire kills one guy. He sucks him of his blood, tears off his head. I don't believe tears off his head. He sucks, at least he sucks him. He sucks his blood dry. The other guy is shooting at it. It doesn't really hurt him. It does, frustrate him. Then he takes the other guy. He's wounded, but he gets a bite. The other guy is dead, completely drained. The other guy is wounded. Now, the other crew members come on ship with guns, ringing the bell, and the vampire knows this. It just flies away and gets the fuck away. Now, they find the body. Clemens, the doctor, said the guy's completely drained. They do a funeral, drop him overboard because these crew members, their burial is at sea, so they're dropped overboard. The other one is treated by Clemens, but when a vampire bites you, you get sick. You can become a vampire, right? But not if you're bitten in the foot. You just get sick. You get like the flu. You get sick, and you die eventually by the poison. And Clemens can't find out what's happening with that. And at some point, the captain also gets bitten. Toby even dies, gets fucked over, and gets killed by the vampire. And then the second in command with Clemens, they start everything to fire. They're trying everything, fire on a stick. They're trying everything. What works the best is the fire on the stick. They don't know what to do. They eventually try to burn it out of its hiding spot, but what happens is eventually during the burning, the boat sets on fire. They're almost at the English coast, and at this point the captain is still alive, but he says, I'm staying, because the captain goes down with the ship and he's incredibly sick. The other guy who was bitten is already dead. He got buried on sea. And the other guy, the second in command guy, he dies by the vampire during the chaos. So what happens is he gets on a rowboat, and eventually we see London. We see, so I'm sorry for the spoilers. I should have said the spoilers, but we see London, right? I think it's a movie from 2023. We see London in a bar, in a pub, and we see Clemens sitting there. And then we see a guy sitting there in the corner, in the black corner, with red clothes, red top hat, and a cane, and big nails. And he is doing this with his nails. He gets up, puts some money, and then he gets up and he drops a coin next to Clemens. He knows Clemens there. He knows what Clemens is doing. Clemens is hunting him. He's hunting Dracula. And now the movie starts, and basically Bram Stoker's movie in a way starts. You know, the hunt for Dracula. He's rich. He knows he has acquisitions everywhere, and that's how the movie ends. Clemens goes outside and he's gone. You see him standing on the rooftops watching at Clemens. Clemens sees him, and then eventually he goes away. So it's like I said, the movie is good in a way that it's isolated on the boat, right? And we all know, if you know the Bram Stoker story, that the vampire came on a boat and killed the entire crew. And that's the story of the last days of the last voyage of the Demeter. And the Demeter was the ship where the vampire was on. And that's how he came to London. And the movie wants to be creepy because it's on a boat. It's dark, it's chilly, it's cold. There are waves everywhere. You know, you don't have jack shit to kill it. It looks like a monster. It's more like it doesn't. The human form it creates. It goes to human form when he's in London to adapt, but he's in that. You know, it's not a Fright Night. You know, when you have Jerry Dandridge being this bat with a bat demon-like face, which is that big. No, it's a giant fucking fur, a bat with fur and pointy ears and sharp teeth, red eyes. It's a pretty creepy monster, but I wasn't creeped out. It didn't work for me. I'm not a Dracula guy. There wasn't even a moment. There were a few jump scares, of course. You've got the boat. Also, Anna became a victim. She also dies. Basically, the entire crew dies except Clemens. The crew and Anna, the one who wanted to go on the Demeter to take the voyage to England. She wanted to go to London. And of course, Toby, the grandson of Captain Elliot, he kept Captain Elliot dies by drowning because he is the captain and he goes down with the ship. It's a good movie, but it's a good movie. The acting's great. That's not the problem. You got these crusty old sea dogs, some being douchebags, some being respectful, some being, this and that and complaining and I hope we get more stocks this time and this like that, like that, and it gets, it gets a 5 for me, but it may be worth 6 or a 6.5 for people who love vampires, who love Bram Stoker's Dracula story. I never really, I've seen it, but a long time ago. You know, I seen Leslie Nielsen's parody on it, Death and Loving It, you know, but I'd rather see that. But it, it's a good movie. It's just, you know, you got the perfect situation, the perfect set piece. You know, you're on a boat in the middle of an ocean. You're basically on a driving on a floating casket because you're all gonna die. You don't know, you can't kill what's on board, and it's gonna kill you all when it's every day when he needs a snack, and that's what's gonna happen. And I like the idea that they um, they let Clemens live. I like that idea because he was bullied a little bit because he's a black guy. All black guys, you know, this and that. Let the black guy do the job. But the captain and the right hand man, especially the captain, were respectful to him because he was a surgeon. He was smarter than anybody on that boat, and he was treated like their doctor. And at some point, you know, the vampire bites you. You don't become a vampire, but you become extremely sick and die. Problem is, he couldn't do shit. He couldn't do shit, and at some point, they wanted to throw him overboard because he couldn't help for jack shit. And you know, but he says, "I can't do it. There's something on this boat killing you, killing us all, and we're not gonna survive if we're not stay together," he says, and that's wise. That's wise. And at this point of time, the captain's already bitten by trying to save his grandson. It's a great story. It's a great story. It's not, you gotta see it. I recommend it, but just I'm giving it a 5 from me. It's for me. Okay, I saw it. I seen it. Okay, but I recommend the movie. Subscribe if you don't. It's free. It's penniless. Free. It's fun. And your guy and you are my badge of honor. See you next time.